So if this is your first week in Switzerland or your first month in Switzerland, these are some things that I would highly recommend you to do, and some of these are a complete must. Like, you can't be in Switzerland without doing these. So let's jump right into it. So first of all, you'll want to get a half fare card from SBB, and this means that all of your tickets, or the train tickets, the bus tickets, all of them will be reduced by 50%. This half fare card you can get online on their website, or you can also get it by going to the SBB office. This is an absolute must. Don't even think about not having it. Don't even think about not buying a ticket when you're here in Switzerland, thinking that, oh, you won't be caught. But believe me, in Switzerland, you do not want to get caught without a ticket, because the fine here is 100 Swiss francs. And believe me, it's not worth it. For that price, you might as well buy a half fare card and then actually buy tickets on a reduced price. Speaking of SBB, you will have an app that you can download, whether it's on Android or it's on your Apple phone. You can download the SBB app and you can book all of your bus tickets or your train tickets through the app itself. It tells you exactly which platform and what time your trains are. It even tells you when your train is delayed, if it is delayed. It can also show you whether your train is full or not full. So I would highly recommend you to download this app, because it's honestly impossible to live in Switzerland without having the SBB app. So when you first arrive to Switzerland, you have to immediately do your permit. And a permit is basically like an ID card that gives you validity to stay in Switzerland. So it's not exactly a visa, it's a permit for you to stay in Switzerland. And this is something that you'll have to renew every year. And every year you'll have to submit your new documents. Now, for the permit, you'll have to research which canton you're located in, which canton gives you the permit, and this largely depends on where your housing contract is. So if your housing contract and your university is in Lucerne, then most likely the canton that you live in is going to be in Lucerne. So you'll have to go to the migration office in Lucerne to get your permit. If it's Zug, then you'll have to go to the migration office in Zug and get your permit. You'll have to book an appointment online. If I'm not mistaken, I had to email them and then they gave me an appointment date. Or you can also go in person and ask them what are the next steps in order for you to get a permit. And there'll be multiple steps, like submitting all of your documents. You'll have to go through the biometrics, and then you will have your permit. The next thing is opening a bank account. Now, opening a bank account is not as complicated as it seems. It's actually very straightforward. Here, what you can do is you can either choose UBS, or there's UBS, there's Raiffeisen, there are also cantonal banks, so there's lots of options out there. However, I personally use UBS, and it was the easiest one for me to open. You'll have to take some of your documents with you, such as your passport copy, your residence permit if you already have it, and your confirmation of enrollment. I'm not sure what other documents would be needed, but you can simply book an appointment with them, go there in person and ask them what documents are needed for you to open a bank account. Now, speaking of bank accounts, you will have to have money before you come to Switzerland. Some banks that I would highly recommend you to have are either Revolut or Wise. And why I recommend this is because they usually have no international transfer fees, so their surcharges are either non-existent or on the very, very low side. And next thing I want to talk about that might seem obvious but wasn't obvious to me when I first got here is grocery stores. So the biggest one that people talk about here are Migros and Coop. However, if you're a student and you can find Lidl or Aldi near you, then I would highly recommend you to shop there, because the prices are much lower there. Or Migros also does have good things on a student budget. They have their own brand called M Budget for students. The next thing that I want to talk about is the mobile plan. Now, I see a lot of students get scammed into signing a 1-year or 2-year contract. Now, whatever you do, do not sign these contracts, do not fall for them. You can easily find so many good student plans, not only online, but also if you go in person. The way I found my mobile plan was just simply Googling what was the cheapest mobile plan here in Switzerland. And of course, don't fall for the cheapest scam too, because sometimes it is a scam. You get what you pay for, but do your research. Some of the ones that I would recommend, I will list somewhere here because nothing comes to my head right now, but I would recommend things like Yellow, Swipe. I think Salt has certain offers, but I think they're on the more expensive side. Anyway, I'll list them somewhere here. And the last point that I want to mention is read through your housing contract. Now, if you're an international student coming to Switzerland for the first time, then you probably already have a rental contract that your university advisor has made you sign, and you have a place to stay. Now, read through your rental contract and know when the deadline is, until when your contract is due, because you'll have to definitely look for a new place in Switzerland after your housing contract ends. I would highly recommend you to find something way before, because finding housing in Switzerland is extremely difficult. Read through your contract, read all the things that, all the terms and conditions, and make sure that you leave your room in complete order so that you don't get charged extra, because in Switzerland they're very strict. If they see a scratch on your wall, they'll question you. So just be careful and read through your contract and see what it implies. And it's also really good if you look for a place way before your contract ends, so you have a backup or somewhere to go. And those were my few points of for you to settle in your first week in Switzerland. Right now I can't find my words to end this video, but if you're interested about life in Switzerland, about the degrees that you can do, check out my other videos. I'll leave them here, and I hope to see you there.